Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to my channel Hidden Birds, in which I share my reflections on the Holy Quran. And today I'm going to share with you my reflections on Surat ad-Duha, that is Surah number 93 of the Holy Quran, and in English it is called the Morning Light. The surah starts by Allah making an oath. He says, I swear by the bright morning hour and by the night when it becomes still and dark. Your masterful nurturer, Rabb, your masterful nurturer has not abandoned you, nor is he displeased with you. And traditionally speaking, the ayat was understood to speak about Prophet Muhammad only, because Prophet Muhammad والسلام, did not receive the revelation for 6 months. So he started to think negatively that maybe Allah abandoned me, or maybe Allah is punishing me, or is displeased with me. Does this sound familiar? We all think that way sometimes. And Allah is assuring us, just as the night and the day alternate, you are going to experience these states as well, or these type of thoughts. So he deal with it beforehand, and he tells us, no, these are false thoughts. I have not abandoned you, and I never is displeased with you. You know, the ayat spoke to Prophet Muhammad in his situation, but the Quran is revealed for all of us. So we take him as an example, but we also think of ourselves in the same way, that we also experience these thoughts. So Allah is swearing that just as the night and the day alternate, we are going to experience states that alternate. So sometimes we are sad, sometimes we are happy and elated, sometimes we are restless, sometimes we experience peace, sometimes we may experience sickness, at other times we experience health, sometimes we experience anger, and at times we are calm and serene. At times we may experience injustice. At other times we experience justice. At times we are not able to forgive someone, or someone is not able to forgive us. At other times we will be forgiving and we will be able to forgive. So these states alternate to awaken our consciousness to the depths of who we are and to the depths of what life is all about. And with the darkness, we get to know the light. As the night is here, in another place on earth, the morning is also here. So it's a matter of perception of where you are, what is your state. So similarly, every experience is a matter of your perspective of it, your view of it. And you can experience it as darkness, but if you flip your state, you may experience it as light. Because through fear, we long to know courage or know security. And through restlessness or stress, we long and yearn to experience peace and security and tranquility. Through anger and hurt, we yearn to experience forgiveness, and we yearn to experience calmness. When we experience injustice, or when we witness injustice done to someone, we yearn to reach to justice. And we look for it, and we search deeper. And the more we search, the more we will find it and will experience it, and it will become part of who we are. And this is the natural cycle of life that we should accept. And we shouldn't think that it's Allah who's punishing us, but rather it is us who are veiled from Allah, or we are veiled from the divine qualities within us. All these states and experiences are meant to make us find the divine qualities within ourselves and to witness it around us all over. And sometimes we will do mistakes, but through these mistakes, we come to experience forgiveness and grow in our knowledge of what is worthy in life and what is beautiful in life and what is divine and godly in life and what is everlasting versus what is perishable. And it could not have been otherwise, because how could we comprehend the infinite? How can we comprehend a love that is infinite unless it becomes a discrete and dense and intense experience in life? How can we know justice as infinite without it taking shape and form, and without us experience it in a discrete way, in a dense way? And similarly, all other divine qualities cannot be known except by the material realm through the dense, intense experience. But through these dense and intense experiences, we gain these subtle qualities, and these subtle states can emerge from it, and it can stay of part as who we are. And this is what we should be looking for. So Allah is reminding us of that when He says, just as He alternates the day with the night, He will alternate us. He will make us laugh and make us cry. He will make us experience different types of opposite experience at times. Just as we experience hardship, Allah is able to alternate it to ease. Just as we experience sickness, Allah is capable of changing it to health. Just as we experience injustice or prejudice, Allah is able to teach us through it what justice looks like or tastes like, and what beautiful fairness is, and how forgiveness takes strength. All of this comes from the real dense and intense experiences. So Allah is telling us in the following ayah, and surely what comes after is better for you than what has gone before. So it means like the future is always better. You are always evolving. You are always growing in knowledge of yourself, of life, and of Allah. You are always growing in proximity to Allah. So every experience, whether it is pleasing or displeasing, can bring you a step forward. It is like the wave, it goes through trough, beak and the trough, but it is always propagating forward. So similarly, your life will have dark and light, darkness and light, or dark experience and beautiful, bright experiences. But you're always learning something from each one. And the sooner you learn, the sooner you propagate, you progress, you move, you walk, you grow. But the more we get stuck and we repeat ourselves, the more we stay where we are. But life is designed in a way to always wake us. Even when we repeat the same mistakes, Allah is still capable of forgiving, waking us up, and helping us to learn from those mistakes. So He's promising us here not to despair, because what comes after, what comes next, is always better than what passed. So this is very beautiful promise from Allah, very assuring. وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى. And soon will your masterful nurturer give you so that you shall be well pleased. So even in the hardship, Allah will still give you, and in pleasing times, Allah still gives you also. So no matter where you are, Allah will always give you something out of the experience. Are you looking for it? That is the question. Are you focusing on the experience itself, the material aspect of it, or are you searching for the nectar that you can squeeze from it? Are you searching for what you can learn from it, take from it, that can stay with you, the knowledge that can nurture your soul? Are you gaining mastery through it, or are you repeating the same pattern of thinking and behavior, negative pattern of behavior, that maybe there is no God, or God abandoned me, or I'm getting punished, Allah's punishing me, or He's displeased with me? But here Allah clearly says He's not. Then He reminds us, after He promises us to give us what will make us pleased and content, here He says, did He not find you an orphan? And this is the traditional translation or understanding, but I'm gonna explain it a little deeper. And give you shelter. So He is actually reminding us and asking us, hasn't this happened to you? And the answer, yes, of course. We all were kind of orphan, because the word orphan in Arabic language means yatim. And yatim comes from the root verb yatama. And yatama means he becomes in need. So in that way, we are all orphans, because we are all always in need of something. And that is designed to make us look for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the divine qualities that our soul are hungry for. And we are starving to know these divine qualities if we truly realize it. So Allah is reminding us, did not He find you in need like an orphan and give you shelter? Of course. First, if you think about the ayah as speaking of Prophet Muhammad والسلام, who was literally an orphan, who lost his father and later his mother when he was 6 years old, he became truly an orphan, no father, no mother. But who took care of him was his grandfather. And when his grandfather passed away, who took care of him? His uncle. It seems that Allah will always provide the care by moving someone's heart to Him. So first He moved the heart of the grandfather, and his sense of responsibility, his compassion, his love for his grandchild moved him to become the caregiver. And when he passed away, then Allah put the same love and sense of responsibility in the heart of his uncle. And that is always the case. Allah will always, first of all, bring some comfort within and some help from the outside. He will bring the divine qualities because everything is just an expression of it. And it is what moves everything in the creation. So whether it moves the people from the outside to aid the person in need, or it brings forth a divine quality that help the person fulfill this need, still Allah is the source. It's one source and the same. It is the divine qualities, the divine essence. So Allah never abandons us in such case if we truly look deeper, and He is always taking care of us even in the midst of hardship and in the midst of need. So Allah reminds us of this, and the next ayah He also says, and He found you lost and guided you. Hasn't He found you lost and guided you? Of course, many times we just feel confused, or we feel we turned away from the truth. But Allah has a way to always bring us to it. And even in the middle of our confusion regarding what decision to take, we will end up taking decision one way or another. So He gave us the free will to take this decision and make choices. And no matter what choice you will choose, you can still learn from it something that will bring you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in a deeper sense, there is, of course, there are some clear right and wrong, but there is also no right and no wrong, in a way that every experience will teach you something about the divine qualities. And of course, you want to go the easy path, and that's where ethics comes, and where you're striving to know what is right and what is wrong, and what is pleasing to Allah and what is not. That means what will make you content and pleased and what is not. So Allah is reminding us that He is always guiding us. He's with us wherever we are and fulfill our needs. But sometimes we attach our needs only to the material. So when the material does not come the way we expect it, in a picture frame we put, then we feel that nobody's helping, or Allah is not helping, Allah abandoned us or punishing us. But that is only an illusion, because there is always something available, there is always something done. Maybe it doesn't meet our expectation, but it is what is best for us. And many times we want to go that way, but Allah pushes us another way, and it turns to be better and teach us deeper lessons and develop our own godly qualities more. So Allah is reminding us of that. And then in the following ayah, He says, and He found you, in charge of something. In some translation, it says He found you in want and made you to be free from want. But the Arabic words used is a'ilan. A'ilan means the one in charge of taking care of someone else. Like the father is a'il, means he is the caregiver or the one in charge, the breadwinner of the family. The mother is the caregiver of the children, for example. So whenever Allah puts you, finds you here means He puts you in a situation and you are in charge of something or someone. you have a responsibility over your shoulder, then he enriches you. That's what actually is the second word. He found you, or whenever he finds you in charge or responsible for something, he enriches you. فأغنى. He enriches you with the qualities and the experience and the training, the lessons that will allow you to fulfill this charge or responsibility or learn from it, that maybe you don't have to do it all, or maybe you come to realize it is not your responsibility. For example, you are in a job and you found that this is not really what you're passionate about or what you are good at. Your heart is someplace else. Still, that training and that experience enriches you because it shows you what you meant to do. Even it was something else, but through that experience you discover what is that something else. So whether you stay in it and you learn to do it, or you become passionate about it, you love it, and you fulfill the responsibility, or whether you leave it, in both experiences you will still be enriched. And that's what Allah is promising or saying what actually happens. He says, whenever He puts you or finds you, means He puts you in a charge or in responsible for something, then He enriches you. So the next ayah He says, therefore, as for the orphan, don't oppress him or don't don't compel him to do something, or don't treat him forcibly. Or not to subdue him. It's interesting here because, again, the same word, yatim, orphan, it just means a person in need. So Allah says, whenever you find someone in need, then be compassionate, because you are also in need. And Allah puts in the hearts of people something to help you. If they don't follow it, you feel subdued, or you feel oppressed, you feel crushed. So why would you want to do the same for someone else? If it is in your capacity to help, you help. So you will not treat someone unjustly, because you also need justice. For why would you do injustice to someone else? That's what Allah is telling us. And then He follows that by saying, and as for him who asks, don't scold him. So again, someone is asking you for help. Don't judge him. If it is in your capacity to help, help. If it is not in your capacity to help, then you can apologize in a nice way and without judging or without scolding. And that's what Allah is saying to us, because you don't want to be treated that way also at your times of need. And we are always in need of one another. You can't do it all on your own. You are always dependent on many people. Even for a morsel of bread, there is too many people involved to bring that morsel of bread to your mouth, to your plate. So you can't really say you're not in need of anyone, and that, oh, I'm so rich, or I'm so powerful, or I'm so self-sufficient. We are all in need of other people, and other people need us too. So we have to fulfill that responsibility and that mutual help according to our capacity again. Then the last ayah says, The traditional translation first says, and as for the favor of your masterful nurturer, do announce it or speak about it. But the word hadith can also mean, rather, because Allah does not say fatahaddas, which really would mean talk about it. Allah give you a blessing, talk about it, announce it, proclaim it. No, the word does not really say so because it misses a letter. So it says fahaddis instead of saying fatahaddas. So this ta is not there. Fahaddis, not fatahaddas. Fahaddis means to renovate, while tahaddas means talk, proclaim, announce. So it's interesting also to notice there is a proposition. It does not say announce the blessing of your Lord. It says by the blessing or by the gift or by the favor, ni'mah, of your masterful nurturer, your Lord sustainer, renovate. That is the translation that is more accurate, or you can consider it an alternative translation, because here what it's truly telling us, just as we are all in need and we alternate between the states, then we have blessings. Allah gives us talents, uniquely ours. He gives us strength. For some of us, He gives wealth. For some of us, He gives knowledge. For each one of us, there is certain talents and certain blessings, uniquely yours. So Allah says, by these gifts that He granted to you, your masterful nurturer granted to you, which also exceed with time, as explained through the experiences, you grow and your talents and skills and blessing increase. So Allah says, use these blessings, the knowledge you gain, the strength you have, the time you have, the divine qualities you realize, the talents, the wealth, the health, the strength, whatever you have, use it. Use it to renovate. First, use it to renew your own soul. Use your intellect. Use your limbs, your senses. Use your imagination. Use your intuition. Use your feelings and passions. All of these are also blessings from Allah, are also gifts, uniquely yours. So use all of these to first renew yourself, for self-renewal, and also to renovate the world, meaning to make something new in the world, to bring more beauty to the world, to bring more beautiful divine expression to the world, godly qualities to the world through you, or to invent something, to heal someone, to be compassionate to another, to add more love to the world, to add justice to the world, more justice for everyone, to bring peace, to become a peacemaker. All of these things you could do will renew the world, and you become the representative of the one who renews the world, Allah, through the divine qualities that He gave you. You use it to renew yourself, give birth to a new you, and you bring innovation to the world, inventions, artistic expressions, whatever in your capacity to do to leave the world a better place than you came in, and to leave your trace. And this trace will not only be left on the world and in the hearts and minds of people, but more importantly, it will be left on you in your memories and in what you will carry with you when your consciousness passes away from this life to the final abode. So I pray that all of us will use the talents and the gifts and the blessings that Allah gave us to again leave a beautiful mark on this world and on ourselves and in the hearts and minds of everyone we touch. Thank you, and see you in next episode.